Does that issue still have relevance to the young voter of Gujarat?
The issue of terror,
Yeah.
or the issue of the fact that our security forces were attacked in that particular terror attack, and that they are constantly being attacked by terror in the northern part of the country. I think it most certainly does. I think it's a very relevant issue for any Indian, not just for the young Indian. And I don't
Okay.
think the Prime Minister, when he even mentions the genesis of the term saffron terror, I think that was something that deeply hurt the Hindu voter. So that there again, he's bringing up issues which do resonate. And I
Okay.
think he's also putting Congress on the mat and saying, get up and react. Because the Congress, frankly, the somnolence that they've displayed in this particular election is scary for anyone who wishes to see an opposition that's alive and
So
kicking.
Sanju Verma, I mean, if the Congress is not taking this election seriously, Rahul Gandhi campaign there barely for a couple of days, clearly compared to 2017, the Congress's campaign has been rather muted. Why the need then again to raise an issue which, like I said, Batla was in 2009 and 2611 was in 2008? It's been 15 years since. So what exactly is the attempt going on here?
Zaka, let's be very clear. And, I will not allow a statement on the Prime Minister's credibility to be made, and me sitting here as the national spokesperson, allowing Rashid Kidwai to get scot-free. Let me remind Mr. Kidwai that if you're calling the Prime Minister a BJP worker during campaigning, I can say the same to you. You're not a neutral journalist, but a Congress darbari at the least, and an acolyte at the most, with, nothing that speaks about neutrality from any angle whatsoever. Now, coming to the moot point, let's be very clear, Zaka. If you recall, just a couple of months back in June 2022, the Supreme Court gave a clean chit to Narendra Modi and upheld the investigation done by the SIT, saying that there was no planned criminal conspiracy pertaining to the Gujarat riots by the Narendra Modi dispensation way back in 2002. And what did we see? Barely within few hours of the judgment coming out from the apex court, no less. You had the likes of Jairam Ramesh, you had the likes of Ajay Makan, and a whole host of Congress leaders and their paraphernalia, sitting in protest at the Jantar Mantar in support of whom? In support of Teesta Setalwad, who the Supreme Court said with malafide and ulterior motive deliberately kept the pot boiling with respect to a false narrative on the Gujarat riots. There has been a whole cottage industry of leftists, of journalists, or other people who fancy themselves as journalists, of left-leaning academicians who have trolled Narendra Modi brutally and viciously for a crime which he did not commit. So it is very important for the people of Gujarat, for the people of this country, for young India to know that here is a man today who's not only the Prime Minister of one of the largest democracies in the world, but also a global statesman in his own right, how he was vilified, how he was maligned, how he was sullied. And let me just end by saying one important thing. Rashid Kidwai said, BJP may win. And I tell you, BJP will win. And I'll just give the reason in 10 seconds, Saka. Look at 2014. The BJP won all the 26 Lok Sabha seats from Gujarat with a 62% vote share. Come 2019, the BJP again won all the 26 Lok Sabha seats from Gujarat, again with a vote share in excess of 62%. But what about the Congress? Congress had a vote share of 32% from Gujarat in Lok Sabha 2019 and yet did not win a single seat. So the Congress's problem is it cannot convert vote share into winnable seats.
No, in a two-horse race, anybody who gets more than 50% obviously will win seats. That's the first past the post system. But Meeta Chakrabarti, the point that Sanju Verma is making is the Congress willy-nilly is associated with people like Teesta Setalwad or Medha Patkar. In fact, the Prime Minister talked about it in one of his campaign rallies earlier, that there was a conspiracy against the Narmada dam. There was a conspiracy by activists to not allow development in Gujarat. It is that memory that he is stoking amongst the people.
Okay, before coming to Medha Patkar issue, I would just quickly remind, I think my friend from BJP very conveniently left out 2017 election, where also we were written off by the media. But we ended up having, the alliance ended up having 80 seats as compared to 99 that was won by the BJP, with 77 going to Congress. And we had a vote share of 42%. I think if you look at all the assembly election results over the past 27 years, our vote share
Out of
has been
77, your 14 MLAs have left the party.
That is
now you have reduced to 63. You have reduced to 63.
Ma'am, please, no interruptions, please. Let's extend each other that basic courtesy. No interruptions, ma'am, please, Sanjuji. No interruptions, please.
Results of 2017. Can you please ask her to stop and not interrupt me? Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So if we have had a vote share in assembly elections between 38 to 42%, so Congress party, even as on today, has a very sound organizational base. Number two, we have done door-to-door campaigns. We have done 4 internal padyatras. We have done bigger rallies as well, with central leaderships also joining the state leadership. We have spoken to about 65 lakh people. Based on their feedback, we have come up with a manifesto which is completely focused on local development issues of Gujarat, be it about 10 lakh jobs, be it about 300 units of free electricity, be it about giving subsidy to LPG cylinder, taking the price down to 500 rupees per cylinder, giving unemployment allowance to the unemployed people, or about creating more employment in the state, or about revamping the education system by having 3,000 more English medium schools.
Gujarat elections, Congress is not being seen on the ground. Congress is not being seen making a noise like you did in 2017.
We have been working on
in 2017, the Congress worker was far more on the ground, visible and seen. That's not the case in 2022. And perhaps, maybe, I don't know, maybe because the central leadership is not being seen there. Like I said, Rahul Gandhi campaigned for all of 2 days
if you allow me to answer that,
yeah,
the messaging of Bharat Jodo Yatra has also resonated with the voters of Gujarat. It has reached each and every single household of Gujarat. Gujarat is not isolated from Bharat.
Okay.
Coming back to the second point that you asked about Medha Patkar, Bharat Jodo Yatra has a much bigger socio-political objective, where we are fighting against 3 forms of inequality: economic inequality, social and communal inequality, and over-centralization of power or political inequality.
Okay.
People who have been
Let me ask Nalin Mehta. Nalin Mehta, is Bharat Jodo and the crowds that Mr. Gandhi is getting, is that going to have any bearing or resonance on the Gujarat election?
Zaka, I think we cannot be ahistorical in this debate. In 2017, the Congress ran the BJP really close, as you mentioned. That was because one of the reasons was because of the Paridar agitation, and because the Congress did a lot of work on the ground in the last election, led by Rahul Gandhi. What has happened in the last 5 years is that almost all the leading lights of the agitation and those who led the campaign against the BJP are now on the BJP side of the fence. In the last 5 years, the people of Gujarat, and as you mentioned, and it has been mentioned, the Congress vote in Gujarat has always been a strong, stable vote, despite the fact that the Congress has not come to power in the last, in about 3 decades now in Gujarat. Now, those voters who stayed with the BJP, they would have expected, who stayed with the Congress, they would have expected a strong opposition on the ground. What's happening right now is that the entire top leadership of the Congress is missing from the campaign. You are doing a Bharat Jodo Yatra in the south, which has got large crowds in the south, but you're not campaigning in Gujarat. Rahul Gandhi's been there only once. You campaign in Mehsana, that doesn't have an impact in Gandhinagar, leave alone doing in the south. So I think that's a real problem the Congress should ask itself.
Okay.
Why has it lost the momentum?
No, so why is the Congress not visible, Rashid Gidwai, like they were in 2017? The fact is that, like I said, Rahul Gandhi's campaigned there barely a couple of times. More importantly, the so-called faces of the Patidar agitation who were with the Congress last time around, Hardik Patel, Alpesh Thakur, they're all with the BJP this time. There doesn't seem to be even an intent to put up a fight.
I think, Zaka, that's your view, but perhaps I have been saying this Congress is fighting this election. This is a kind of experiment. They have tried to disengage Rahul Gandhi in the sense that Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi kind of contest in an assembly election, and they are in Himachal also. They fought in a similar fashion. So this is the thing. We have to wait for the outcome. The BJP may win. I do not know why my friend, Sanju Verma, whose attention span is very little, got so worked up. Obviously, in India, assembly elections are fought on political parties' lines, and whether it's a prime minister or a chief minister or so, they go there as star campaigners of their respective political parties. So in that sense, everyone who's campaigning there is either a BJP worker or a Congress worker or so. This is a badge of honor.
No, so let me give the final word to Advaita Kala. You even have people like Mr. Owaisi saying that, how can the BJP talk about terror, because UAPA, according to him, is the most misused law, most draconian law in this country. Again, I come back to the question, because in a state like Gujarat, will these issues have resonance and relevance? Because I don't think people in Gujarat think that UAPA is a misused law or a draconian law.
I mean, Mr. Owaisi had a problem with Simi being banned as well. So, there is a certain perspective from which he comes, which is kind of, separated from the reality on the ground. So there's no point really delving into that. The AIMIM is, of course, trying their luck. They had a fair showing in the civic polls. And now I think they're contesting something like 13 or 14 seats. And I'm definitely sensing this sort of drift that is on with the Congress. The AIMIM as well as AAP has sensed it. And they're, it's like blood in the water for a shark. They're in there. And that's why the Congress continues to astound that it is so busy resurrecting Rahul Gandhi that they are not thinking about resurrecting their fortunes in the two states where they are the principal and the opposition. And this cannot be reiterated enough. I mean, Congress, you are the principal opposition in these states. Why are you not there beating the ground down and working hard and pushing the narrative and getting your message across? I feel like they've thrown in the hat. And that truly makes this
I go back to what Amit Shah had said even in our Gujarat Adivation, that he believes that the principal fight even today is between the Congress and the BJP.
Congress.
How many seats each party will end up with, that of course only the voters will decide. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much to all our guests. What I'm going to do now is to take a quick break. When we come back, right on the other side, unprecedented protests happening in China over Xi Jinping's zero COVID policy. Slogans were in fact raised against the ruling Communist Party and the Chinese president. It's being called the blank white paper revolution as it spreads from Beijing to Shanghai to Wuhan to other cities. That right on the other side of this quick break.